Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Roam Overlanding, and this one is going to be sponsored. And this episode is going to be sponsored by Surfshark, but I'll tell you a little bit more about them later. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how insanely beautiful this campsite is?
My name is Adrian Abrahams, and this week we're going to explore the beautiful and rainy Wild Coast. With plenty of water crossings and spectacular views all around, this is sure to be an adventure.
Okay, so we are in the proper mist, a little bit of rain. If this is anything to kind of predict the future of what the next couple days of travel is going to be like, I think it's going to be pretty wet and pretty wild. Especially considering the Wild Coast is an incredibly muddy place. But that's what it's all about. We are staying at a really beautiful campsite. It's called the White Clay Resort. It is right on the beach. So even if it's going to be rainy, it's going to be damn beautiful. It's going to be my first time ever going to the Wild Coast, so I'm keen to see what it's all about. I don't know if we're going to be able to kind of enjoy it in all of its glory because we're not really going to be able to see much with all the rain, but let's see how it goes. I think this is going to be an authentic Wild Coast experience. Okay, so we've had a bit of a rough time once we arrived at White Clay. The rain, the wind, the everything was just kind of compounding on us, the stressful drive here. We set up, we had a beautiful dinner, we had some lamb chops, we made some veggies, some potatoes, and you know what? Feeling pretty good and pretty happy that we decided to stick it through and keep going with everything. This awning saved our lives today. It helped, you know what, besides keep us out of the rain, it helped get our spirits back, you know, from the cold and the wind and the rain and everything. So we're feeling all right. We're not going to stay here as long as we had planned to. The view and the scenery and everything is beautiful, but in this weather to go on unnecessarily for too many days, we'd rather move down the coast and maybe find some new places to go and stay. So we may not linger around as much, but we're still going to do a lot of exploring, and the plans change. That's how it works. I'm looking forward to waking up tomorrow and heading off on our adventure through the Wild Coast. It's been raining pretty much non-stop the whole time since we were in the Eastern Cape Highlands yesterday. But it's just one of those things that just kind of soaks you out a little bit, man. So we're gonna see, it seems like it's the same weather all the way down the coast. But it's not heavy rain, it's just a constant light drizzle. The wind is not too bad considering what we've already been through. Let's see how today goes. We're gonna make a breakfast and kind of pack up our camp and everything and see where the road takes us. We've got no dead set plans, it's all quite open-ended. And yeah, let's see how it goes. We're heading to a very special little spot called Hole in the Wall. Never been there before. I'm excited to see what it's like for myself. I've seen the beautiful photos. I'm not sure how it's gonna look in this weather, but you know, we'll find out for ourselves. So we actually ended up having a super short drive. We went to go visit the mini hole in the wall, and then as we were driving through, we saw the hole in the wall itself. And we thought we'd go into, there's like a little resort here. And it turns out they've got like a little backpackers, and it would have cost us the same amount as camping, except we can get out of the rain a little bit. We don't have to set up or break down our camp. We've got cooking facilities here, and we were running a little bit low on gas, so it actually worked out pretty nicely. I've got to get to work on editing some video stuff. Marcus has got some work to do. We've got signal here, so we're actually going to take a little bit of a break here, a bit of a one-day pause, and just catch up on all the stuff we need to actually get done for our jobs. And what we'll do is tomorrow we'll get back on the road and keep traveling from then. We're gonna head down to Morgan's Bay. There's a campsite out there called Double Mouth. I think we'll be recharged, we'll be dried up, and we'll be ready to go for the last few days of our Wild Coast camping trip. Then we can make our way through to Cape Town, and a whole new adventure awaits there. Marcus, what's that?
Some sandwiches. Like mince, cheese, butter, and goodness.
I wanted to just take a moment to introduce today's sponsor, Surfshark. Now, I don't take these type of things lightly, so I made sure to test out their offering quite a bit over the past 2 months, and I'm really happy to have partnered with Surfshark on this video. Essentially, Surfshark is a VPN service. Not only does that offer the ability to mimic being in another country from wherever you are online, so you can access things like Netflix and things like that from other countries, get access to streaming different types of content. It cuts down on the amount of ads you see in day-to-day use on the internet, and it also gives you encrypted, secure connections when you're needing to do banking in B&Bs or hotels around the world. It's just offering you that little bit of protection and just a little bit of peace of mind. It is something that I think, whether you are somebody who is very digitally based or you really just want to stream some interesting Netflix shows, it really just opens up a couple doors for you. Now, it's not an expensive product by any means, and as part of this partnership, Surfshark are actually giving us an incredible promo. So it is going to be 84% off and 4 months free using the checkout code ROAM, and that is just going to be in the link down below, or I'll put it down on the screen over here. And yeah, I would appreciate it if you guys would head out and go and check what Surfshark is all about. I think it's a great product, and I'm loving using it myself, and I think you might find some value there. Anyways, I just want to say thanks to Surfshark for reaching out and wanting to support the show, and I really appreciate it. Anyways, guys, let's get back to the show. Nice little morning here at Hole in the Wall. Going for a walk. It was great having a break yesterday out of the rain. And it seems like the weather's cleared up a little bit for us. We're gonna go do this little bit of touristy stuff. And then we're gonna make our way to Morgan's Bay.
The Hole in the Wall is arguably one of the most popular sites in the Wild Coast, and has been on my radar for quite some time. Now, the weather played a role in making it all feel moody and quite spectacular. It just feels wild and raw, and it's great to see that the local people use this naturally peculiar formation to catch a bounty of creatures to eat and to sell. I'm not one for following the same path twice, so we had noticed another way around, and it looked just as spectacular as the Hole in the Wall. It also just took me back to feeling like I was at the Old Man of Store in Scotland again.
Hole in the wall is cool, but I kind of like this. This is the underrated one. We had a little guide. Don't fall for the human guides. Take a canine guide. They're a lot better, and you just have to give them head rubs. Absolutely epic location.
With our spirit guide as glad to have had a walk as we were, especially after being in a vehicle for 6 days. It was an awesome change of pace and actually a perfect pit stop here. The weather was looking up and we were pumped to get going and continue our adventure.
Well, that was a huge amount of fun exploring the hole in the wall. Didn't expect it to be so overgrown and so wild, actually. I thought it would be a little bit more touristy than that. But it was actually incredible. Now it's time to refuel, get on the road and make our way through to Morgan's Bay. The downpour over the past 2 days has been it's been building up to making this a very interesting drive today. We've got a good 270k drive to get to our next campsite out in Morgan's Bay, and we are splashing through some puddles, we're crossing some streams. It's a hell of a lot of fun. And you know what? The scenery ain't too bad. It's quite a well-populated area, so you know, don't expect to be all out here on your own, but it's still beautiful nonetheless. Oh dude, look, it's a giant rock. Navigate me around the rock,
Okay.
so we don't move it.
And just keep it like that.
So that's that, there's no road there. We thought we were cool navigating past that little section, but even if there was a road, we'd have to cross this bloody river.
So that's probably why he said keep left.
So,
Probably left. There's a gap here,
you think so?
and then you can cross on that side. Probably cross over there.
Let's go have a look, let's have a walk. Let's see, otherwise turn back. So the problem with language barriers is that when people are waving vigorously at you, you don't know if they are actually waving at you or if they're trying to tell you something. Then when you find somebody, you can't really communicate with them properly, you know, they can't tell you exactly what's going on. So we got to the end of this road, it's completely washed away. The only advice we got from one of the guys is keep right. And we've turned around and we're gonna see if maybe there's another way across the river. I hope so, otherwise we're turning back. Are you gonna go for a walk? Down the river, onto the rocks there and across?
Yeah,
Okay, but then we have to walk it.
yeah, I'll walk first. Are you capturing me putting on your flip-flops?
Yeah, I am, dude.
I'm never gonna hear the end of this.
Well,
Embracing my true German heritage.
when you don't cut your feet open, you'll be thankful, dude.
100%. So outside line. Yeah. I think that's best. That side.
Okay, so we're gonna tackle this. We've walked the entire route. We've consulted with some of the locals and stuff as well, just to get a better understanding of the right path to take. I don't recommend doing this kind of stuff. We're gonna take it, we're gonna do it nice and slow and controlled, and we're gonna try and push through this. It's gonna be very interesting, it's a lot of fun, but this is quite dangerous, and there's been a lot of rain in the area lately and the water is quite deep, but I've watched Marcus as he's kind of walked through the whole stream, and I'm happy with the heights where the water is sitting. So, let's do it.
Now this moment was quite surreal for me, but it also really reinforced something important to me. Life happens when you do stuff, and the adventure begins when things don't go according to plan. I'd always dreamed of taking my overlanding rig across a river while children hung off the rock sliders, and there I was doing just that. And I couldn't have planned for anything like this to have happened. Yet here we are. And this to me was what I always imagined exploring the wild coast to be like. And this really is a story that I'll hold close to my heart for the years to come.
So that, I mean, epic, 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 epic. We found a way through the river, interacted with some of the locals that helped us guide us through there. Very, very awesome. And now the journey continues. Woo! Okay, so we've come along another water crossing. Marcus is gonna walk it, see what it's like. First, and then if it's shallow enough, we go through. But I really hope we can go through because it's quite a long way back by now. If you get stuck, I can winch you out. Yeah?
No, this gets deep, I can feel it. No, this definitely gets deep.
Okay, yeah, so just keep going.
It keeps going deeper, dude.
No, just keep going. That's what I want to see. I want to see that. So there's no point in hiding where that is, because we need to know where that is.
Yeah, so this is pretty much your edge.
Oh, don't we have some beautiful weather now? We are almost at Morgan's Bay. We're going to the Doublemouth campsite. We've got a little dirt road drive through alongside Kymouth and to Morgan's Bay. Stoked. Let's get there.
I had no idea what to expect heading to Morgan Bay, and I randomly stumbled upon the Doublemouth campsite during my research of the area. And I'd seen a couple pictures, but nothing could really prepare me for what we were about to experience. And quite honestly, this campsite had surprised me more than any other on this trip. and would far exceed my expectations. The drive-in was absolutely magical. The golden sunlight and the crisp blue ocean in the distance. Even the whales greeting us as we arrived.
Stop, stop, stop. And that spot that was supposed to be mine, you just parked straight on it.
But it's
That's why I told you to stop.
but it's a perfect spot.
For who?
There's your spot right there, dude.
Oh, in the mud, yeah. I would suggest you park parallel like this. Because then the car will be here, nicely parked. Tent, dry area, and then our cupboards go out that way.
If I need to raise the back, I can.
Yeah.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate how insanely beautiful this campsite is? Just look over there, Marcus. I am super happy that we actually ended up making it through to the Double Mouth campsite out in Morgan's Bay. It is stunning, really is. The weather's cleared up beautifully for us. I think we did the absolute perfect thing by just taking it easy yesterday, booking in a backpackers and just waiting out the storm, catching up on some admin and things like that, and recharging ourselves, because this is perfect. This is such a beautiful spot. There's actually this nice little walk down from the campsite, and it looks like you can walk all the way around to another beach all the way over there. This is epic. It's time to crack a few beers, sit at the campfire, and chill out for the evening. We've actually been traveling quite a lot. We've done a lot. It's difficult to kind of comprehend all of it in one go, but I mean, from being on the top of the mountain in the wind, which was like what, 100 k's an hour or something stupid like that, to being in the rain for 2 days. And now that we've been blessed with this beautiful weather, it's amazing. It's really, really amazing. The Wild Coast and the Eastern Cape in general has just been beautiful in its variety of everything around here. The most epic mountain scenery, the most epic coastal scenery. It's been fantastic to explore, and I know we've only seen a little bit of it, but what we have seen has been mightily impressive, and I can't wait to come back here one day. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little travel series, because next up we're going to be heading through to the Western Cape. I'm going to be spending some time in and around Cape Town with some of my other overlanding buddies, and hopefully making some content with them. And then after that it's the long way home. So this is all assuming everything goes well with the COVID-19 news and all of that in South Africa, and that our president doesn't lock us down again. But you know what, if all goes according to plan, I think it's going to be a beautiful trip, and I can't wait to get some solo traveling. It's been really nice traveling with Marcus, and I think it's a good way to kick off the trip. But I think now that I'm learning more about my vehicle setup and all of that, it would be really nice to do some beautiful solo stuff in the Western Cape and the Northern Cape. But anyways guys, thank you so much for tuning into this travel series, and yeah, I'll see you again next week. Cheers.
Thank you for tuning in. I just wanted to give a massive shout out to my incredible patrons for supporting me over these really difficult times. Without their support, these shows would not be possible. On the next episode of Roam Overlanding, I meet up with a bunch of overlanders in the Western Cape, and we head out for an adventurous weekend and put the Hilux to the test out in the dunes. My vehicle setup is a collaboration between all of my product partners. To find out more about the equipment in this video, head to the links in the description below.
Hey Marcus.
Yeah.
What you doing?
I don't actually mind turning around into your
No! No means no, Marcus.
No means no.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Cleaning my tires.